Hey, I'm back. I'm substitute teaching at the spot where I was at in the spring. Let's see if my shortcut is still short. Woo! Fortune favors the bold. What's up, Internet? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, how are you? Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a musician from Canada. I had a full-time job and then that job disappeared. I'm taking a year to see if just maybe this thing I dedicated the last 30 years of my life to could actually become a viable career. Here's what we did this week. Last weekend was Thanksgiving here in Canada. To celebrate, my 1-year-old got sick, then my wife did. We had plans to travel and visit family, but we wound up staying put. It was fine. I hung out with the kids all weekend. I had a clip here. We went to the Queen Square Farmers Market, and I tried to get video of the band playing the Star Wars theme song, but by the time I got the camera app open, they were done. The weekend, of course, included Monday, when we had our own Thanksgiving dinner and played outside in the leaves all day with the kids. That night, my wife and I watched the Lilith Fair documentary, and it was great. It was really cool what they were able to pull off. I wasn't much interested at the time. I was into like skate punk and nu metal and like Metallica and stuff. And so it was all like a little light, a little radio friendly for me at the time, but watching it now is super impressive. And like the shows were huge. I had no idea. Tuesday, I did virtual speed meetings in advance of New Brunswick Music Week, which is happening next weekend. I'm going to be there on the Friday. Come say hi. After that, I taught some piano lessons and rehearsed with my friend Jason's band, where I'm the bass player. Wednesday, I broke my own rule and paid the price for it. Don't look at your phone in the morning until you're ready to deal with whatever might be on there, whatever distractions, whatever notifications. Until you're ready to get sidetracked, have your plans derailed by that, don't look at it. But I did look at it. I dropped my kids off at daycare, and then when I got back home, I had my phone in my pocket because I don't know, I guess I'll need it while I'm dropping them off. And I looked at it to check the weather forecast. And before I could even see the weather, there were 2 text message notifications. One was my student's dad that day asking to cancel lessons for that day. And the other one was from the school where I was teaching in the spring, asking if I could come in and sub for their music teacher that day. So because the lessons were canceled, I figured I should pick up a shift at the school. So I said, sure, I'll do it. And so I quickly edited together an Instagram reel, which I posted that day. Even while we still find you. Then I jumped in the shower and, hustled to the school. When I got there, I discovered there was already somebody in the music room who was totally qualified and psyched to be there. They'd been hired to teach a different class that day, but we're filling in music in the meantime, and they got shuffled back when I got in. And I myself was not psyched. In fact, I felt a familiar dread creeping in. I'm going to spend the day teaching music classes to kids, and honestly, I'm dreading it. I don't know what I'm doing. They'll eat me alive. This was what was going through my head. I struggled through the rest of the day. I'm a good musician, but a terrible classroom manager. It's not a skill I have, even with lessons, and I've found that this parallels how I am with people. I'm great at talking to people one-on-one. I'm a good teacher one-on-one. You got a room with 30 people, I'm not likely to address the room. And in this situation too, I find I have a really hard time managing, especially when you've got, people who are just not really interested in being there in the first place. I don't blame them. We had a similar attitude. The music that you learn in school sucks. So they're just like looking to go crazy. I even asked the students, is the class usually this crazy? They tell me, no, it isn't. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the kids were excited to see me, which was awesome. I was happy to see them too. Honestly, the staff are great, but that doesn't necessarily add up to a good day at work. It does add up to, yes, I can grit my teeth and get through it to collect a paycheck. But to me, that is like sitting around waiting to die. And we've all had those teachers too, who don't like their jobs, but they're stuck there just waiting for retirement. They're too deep in it. Maybe they cared at one time, but that was a long time ago. They're pretty checked out. They're just waiting to retire, and it sucks being in their class. I don't want to be that person, and I don't want to do that to kids either. I don't want to do that to students. Oh, and when I took the job, I also told myself I'm done by 3 p.m. I have the rest of the afternoon to work on my stuff. Do you think I did that? I did not. Instead, I went to City Hall to appeal a parking ticket that I got for being in the loading zone when I was loading into my gig at the city market a couple of weeks ago. Then I picked up the kids, got them fed, cleaned them up, off to bed, and I was so wound up because of the day I just had. I went down to the basement, set up my gear, and I played for about a half hour. After that, I was able to relax. Before that, I was ready to explode. And that is why, for many people, music is nice to have. It's a hobby. For me, it is a necessity. Whatever that looks like professionally, it is something I have to do for my own psychological well-being. I learned that 2 weeks after my band broke up. So regarding the sub teaching, my big takeaway was I didn't need to do it. They were fine. I would have been better off focusing on my thing. I'm exhausted today because I spent last night finishing up like a PR project for a course I'm doing. I did a little photo shoot right here in the basement. I'll put that up on the screen here. You can see what that looked like. I would have been better off getting ahead of that so I wouldn't be up till what used to be a normal time, but now is late for me on a Friday night. They didn't need me there, and I didn't need the money. Like, not really. I'm not rich, but I wasn't desperate. And they had a person there who could already do the job and was like into it versus me who's showing up like white knuckling it. You know what I thought of? I feel like I shouldn't say this. I had a teacher in high school who told me she saw me, I don't know, interacting with a small kid. And I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I have younger siblings. I'm patient one-on-one with children. But she saw me and she came up to me afterwards and she's like, I saw how you were with that kid and you were so good with them. And I think you should be an elementary school teacher. You're really patient with kids. And I've had people tell me too when I've gone to the schools that I seem to be suited for that environment. And I was thinking about that tonight and I was like, oh yeah, this same teacher also had an affair with another one of my high school teachers who later killed himself. And I'm not saying this to like bring up anybody's, air anyone's dirty laundry, but it's like, whose opinions do we let influence us? That was a time when this was an adult and I was like, oh, this adult thinks this, maybe they're right and I'm wrong. I'm not trying to question her judgment or whatever, but I guess I'm reminding myself that I could question this adult's judgment, question this adult's assessment based on, watching me in a couple of minute interaction about what I should do with my entire life. And anyway, at that time, I was like, I am almost done at school. You're telling me to be in school the rest of my life? It's all I've ever done. So anyway, I didn't need the money, didn't want to do the work. They would have been fine if I had not shown up. It really was me like second guessing, listening to the practical, well, you should do this. You should make up the lost income. You should go and like help these people out. That's what really put me there. Whereas if I would have stuck to my guns and just ignored the phone until I was ready for the phone, until I was ready to be interrupted, I would have been better off. So it was like the universe telling me you don't have to do this. And I don't, not this year. If that's what I end up needing to do for a living for the rest of my life, I can deal with that next year. For this year, I can prioritize my own thing. But it's weird to do that. Like I'm kind of fighting my instincts in every practical piece of advice that any concerned party has ever given me. There's a quote, it's from Derek Sivers, who I'm like kind of have mixed feelings about, but he says, something is either a hell yeah or a no. If it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. So if an offer comes in and it's not a hell yeah, even if it's like, oh, maybe I should, maybe this would be good to do, maybe they need me to. No, I have to give myself permission to do that. This year is about giving myself that permission. Message received, universe. Thursday. My baby moo moo, my baby moo moo, my baby moo moo. Finally made it to the open mic at Foghorn, little microbrewery in Rothsay here. The open mic is run by local musician and all-around good guy, Zach Ingalls. It was good to see him. We talked shop a bit. He does sound there. I borrowed his guitar to play. I played Smashing Pumpkins Tonight, Matthew Sweet's Sick of Myself, and my own song Runaway.
Online under the name Sunnyside Uppers if anyone's interested. Have a great night. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, everybody.
Got to see Levi Richard for the first time, who's a musician I was aware of on social media and who was great. Great singer. Played a couple tunes. It was nice to get back into that mode. You got to keep working those muscles. Anyway, I was kind of feeling like the week got away from me and I don't have much to report. I was reminded of the career advice Bob Lefsetz once gave me. Do you know who that guy is?
Okay. What kind of crazy f***ed up world do we live in? If no one is listening to you, you should get paid.
Taylor Swift wrote her song Mean about him. Rick Beato's got an interview with him. If you're into music YouTube, you probably know who Rick Beato is. The title of the video is he's like, Bob Lefsetz is the music critic everybody loves to hate. I met him one time. I went to a conference in Los Angeles. Well, it was actually Santa Barbara, but I met him on the last night of it and had a chat. He gave me some career advice.
No one changes the world by following the rules.
It is totally applicable here. You want to know what he told me? I'll tell you next week.